The little scene aqua room in the hacienda, as we like to call it. Hey, good morning. I'm really quickly going down the hallway, cutting in here. Now this looks more familiar, doesn't it? Yeah. I was getting myself a little bit ready. A little ready, Freddie. Crazy little thing called love. Here we go. See? So there is life outside of this room. Good afternoon, Dana. Nice to see you. Cat Mama and Denise and Joan and Baby Kells and Kimberly Schmidt and Robin. Good afternoon, my husband would say. There we go. Now, give me a sec if you would, because I got my hair cut yesterday. As you can tell, I got less hair on my head than I did maybe the last time I saw you. But I haven't even had a chance to style it myself. You know how when you go, okay, Dana, I think that's because I actually did something to it, but I think we're good now. Thank you, Catherine. I think I love it too. Oops, I just took a screenshot. So weird. I love my guy, Phil, who does my hair. Dan, thank you for letting my, Danils 58. Thank you for letting me know my haircut looks good. When you go and get it done by the person always styles it their own way with their own product. And then I kind of run my own hands through it and I make it my own. But thank you. And hey, I hope you are recovering from your gallbladder surgery. Okay? Yeah, doesn't he do a cute job? There was a lot of hair on the ground and it's crazy. My hair just grows. Anyhow, enough about me. I am here for you. And it's been a few days. So, as I like to do, I think it's really important that all of us, including myself, take care of ourselves. And I love it. Okay, so Danils is saying it's more pain than I thought, but I'm excited to feel better. Better is a 6-letter word. And that's what we're going for here today, people, and every day is, what are you doing now that makes you feel good? Do that, and maybe more of it. What's the stuff that's making you not feel so good? Do less of that, and endeavor to just feel a little bit better every day. Now, that doesn't mean you're always kind of climbing. Sometimes maintenance, people, in your life and also in your decluttering. Maintaining your home, maintaining a certain level of where you're not allowing the clutter to rise up, is just as important as decreasing the piles that have accumulated. And the fun thing about that is that we are creatures of habit. Humans are creatures of habit. So much like Elvis and Mary Tyler Moore said, you could change your habit. Okay, now I know they were talking about being a nun and a rock star or some guy on a motorcycle. I can't remember. I don't know if I watched that one on the Channel 56 Sunday afternoon. But here's some things. Let's start out like I do all of my one-on-one coaching sessions. Now, when I do coaching, I will say that everybody knows who I am because they've signed up for one-on-one paid coaching with me. But in case we have not met before, I apologize. I'm not apologizing. I usually just jump in and say hey to everybody, but I want to introduce myself to the new folks. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Destination, you ask? Well, of course, because when you're excited to get to a destination, you're going to do things that normally you wouldn't do. In order for me to go on the destination, on the journey that I went to this weekend, I literally woke up at 3 a.m. It was heading to the airport at 5 a.m. It's because I was excited to get there. Would I do the same if I was going to the dentist? The answer is no. And I went to the dentist last week, and yes, sometimes we have to do the things we have to do. But make it easy on yourself. Let's just make it easy, okay? This is why I am here. Seriously. I just want to make it easy for you to get your poop in a scoop clutter-wise. Set yourself up with some good habits so then you can spend your time, your money, your energy, your health, all the things that you have to spend. You're spending it on the things that truly matter. Where you want to spend your time, how you want to spend your money, and feeling good about those decisions. Okay? Now, I love this. Dana is saying, I was able to let go of some pottery that I had been hanging on to. Awesome. I hope you feel good about that decision. When I coach, and even when I suggest this to you, Callie Rose, nice to see you, and Scott and GP Goddess, and there's my Boston accent when I say goddess, Tony Goddess of the what do you call it, Papas Fritas. Yeah, what I want to suggest to you is feeling good about the decisions you make in your life. Feels good. Endeavor to feel good about the decisions you make. Now, we're all going to make decisions that we regret and are like, oh, I kind of wish I hadn't done that. Forgive yourself your trespasses as they forgive those who trespass against us, okay? Forgive yourself for when you effed up in the past. I returned my rental car later than I thought there was a larger grace period. So when I got my bill and it was almost 2/3 more expensive, I was like, hey, wait a minute. And I could beat myself up. That does not get the rental car in Tucson, Arizona back to the place any quicker. It just makes me feel like crap. Don't make yourself feel like crap. I love it. Dana is saying, for those of you who are listening and not watching, please listen. You don't have to watch. Pretend I am a podcast. All you'll see is me kind of flailing around here, pointing at stuff. But everything that is important that I do, you will hear from my lips to your ears, and ideally from my heart to yours. Dana is feeling great about the pottery they were able to let go of because you've been hanging on to it. Notice the difference, the balance, the opposite. I was hanging on to it. Now I'm letting go of it. Hanging on, I'm grabbing on, I'm clutching on to it. I can't get rid of it. I'm holding on tight, and not to my dream. I'm holding on tight to my pottery. It feels all clinchy. If you just relax and release it, let it go, let it go. Okay, there we go. Annalisa, I was on a coaching call just moments ago with a client, and I said, the universe works in awesome ways. When you ask for help, when you need help, the universe conspires to align things to help you. Okay, so here I am. Annalisa is saying, hey, I was wondering when you might be on this weekend. Boom, boom, as I would say, boom, here I am. There it is. One way you can find out, and this is just a quick kind of aside, a little pullover, if I'm pretty sure you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. There's a bunch of people on there, and I don't know people from their email names, but I did send out a schedule of when I'll be on for the next couple of days, and the people on the email list always know. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. You're going to find out first. But also, I did, and it was late at night last night, I admit, because I was beat like an egg yesterday after I came home from traveling. So I do always have a video at the top of my page that says when the TikTok schedule is going to be there. I will give you a heads up, though. There's going to be a time later this month where there's going to be almost about a week. I think it's a Thursday to a Tuesday, that unless I decide to do a pop-up TikTok live, there's going to be another span of time that I'm not going to be doing the TikTok. So let's make the most of our time together, okay? Dana is saying, I like to donate to a charity thrift store. Yes. Notice how much easier it feels to let go of your items when you know it's going to go someplace that makes you feel good. Virtual Cat took 6 bags of clothes this weekend. Felt so good to release that. Notice what you said. It was hanging on to it. The opposite of hanging on to it is releasing it. Feels so much better. Even my hand like this, physically, I guess you could look at the thing. I'm clenching my hand into a fist, and then all of a sudden, I release it. Feels so much better. You know? I love this. Celeste365 says, this coming across my FYP while there's a box of clutter in the corner. I can help you with that. Now, I'm not the type of coach that comes into your house and does it for you. I have done that before in my life, and what I have learned is that is a short-term fix to a long-term situation. What I love to do, I love it. I love to help people one-on-one, because what that allows us to do is discover kind of what's under the hood of your car that's stopping you from moving forward and doing it yourself. Now, we both look at the engine and we say, oh, see what's wrong? You see what's happening here? This is misfiring. There's a misfire here. Oh, this is out of gas. Oh, this has whatever it is. I use the car references a lot. And what I will say is we fix the things that are broken. Even that wording sounds weird, but we reconnect things in your engine so it works better, so you more easily can move forward with yourself. Okay, I love it. Michelle is saying, I cleared out my linen closet and it looks amazing. It looks amazing. Let me ask you this, though. Is Michelle, if you don't mind answering, no pressure, but it looks amazing. How do you feel when you look at that amazing closet that you made happen? That, to me, is the fun part about all of this, is reminding you of the power you have that you may have forgotten you had. Maybe you were discouraged from using it, but you, my dears, my lovelies, my dears, you have the power. I got the power. You have the power to do something different. And when you do something different, you get a different result. And ideally, that different result, for me anyway, because I'm a decluttering life coach, Dottie, life, is I want you to feel good. I want you to feel better. What is it? Life is supposed to feel good? Life is supposed to be fun and good? You'd think I would remember those things. Okay. There we go. I love it. Michelle says, I'm going to keep it organized. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Catch yourself. This is awareness. This is awareness. Catch yourself when you fall back into old habits. When you're used to, oh, I'm just going to throw those things in there. I'll get to it later. Catch yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay? Catch yourself. Be aware of the habits you have that get you cluttered. Do not judge yourself. Have some compassion. Have some curiosity. Feel better. Do better. Okay? Celeste says, I love to declutter, but how do you get kids and husband to get into it? It's mostly their junk. Yeah, there's some training that needs to happen. It's true. Here's how I coach. Now, your mileage may vary, but I think it's really important to couple of things. One is I truly believe, because I know myself personally from decades of not having this to the depth that I do now, decluttering is a life skill. Let me repeat that because it's so important. Decluttering is a life skill. It is a life skill because what decluttering teaches you is to ask yourself all the time, what do I want to happen? What do I want to do with this thing? Do I want this thing or not? Does this thing give me the life I want? And asking yourself if you want it or not helps you define who you are. You define yourself. One of the ways we define ourselves is by what we buy and own and keep and show off, and what we don't buy and don't keep and don't show off. Okay? So decluttering is a life skill that everybody of every age would benefit from knowing. Now, husbands and kids have probably benefited from the patriarchy in that our society here in the U.S. and pretty much in many places across the globe, it has been inferred and said and taught and reinforced everywhere that the home is the woman's purview. Like, you're in charge of the home. Okay? And to a certain extent, I want you to be responsible for your stuff. I don't want you to be like, my stuff's whatever, but pointing. I want you to learn how to declutter your own things. But then it is important for people who live in a community environment, people who share a living space, they should share the responsibilities of keeping that living space in order, including and up to and including, but especially taking care of their own stuff. Seriously. There will probably be some arguments, some like, no, because people are used to, when you have somebody cleaning up after you and all of a sudden somebody's changing it, you're going to have to be responsible. Of course, there's going to be some, kicking and screaming. It is a worthy venture, not for them, not just for them, but for you, Celeste, for you to reclaim the power you have over your life and say, this is where I want to spend my time. And it's important for you all to be able to take care of yourselves if I'm not around. Okay? That's how I coach, and I hope that empowers you to feel not like it's all your responsibility. It isn't. It should be distributed amongst the team, as it were. Okay? Susan Porter is saying, got office cleared and electric desk that's been in the box in the hallway for 6 months set up. I love it. Susan, that is awesome. Oh my goodness. Now, here's one of the things that I will often do with my one-on-one clients. You don't need to answer, but just notice the power of saying, what made a difference? Okay, so your electric desk has been in the box and in the hallway for 6 months. What made you do something different? What was it that caused you to do something different so that you got the office cleared and the electric desk set up that you hadn't been able to do for 6 months or earlier? Okay, I ask you that because you can learn about yourself, what motivates you, what gets you going, and what demotivates you. If you are like me and many of my clients who have a touch of the ADHD, as I like to say, you may find that you're like, I don't know, it was kind of boring. I didn't feel like doing it. It was boring. How can you make it be a little bit less boring, a little bit more, not necessarily always exciting? Like dishes and laundry may not always be exciting, but having it done is a nice feeling. Knowing exactly where your things are is a nice feeling. It feels good when you can immediately go and quickly put some clean clothes on yourself, and you know exactly where your socks and underpants and long sleeve t-shirts are and yoga pants, and you can do it really quickly so you can do other things. Okay? So congratulations, and everybody, find out what works for you and do more of that. Maybe there's a certain time of day where you have more energy and focus. Do the things that are important to you during those days. Do not piddle away. I guess that's what you call it. Don't piddle away your energy and focus on things that don't matter. Use your time strategically so you are making the most of this road trip called life. Okay? Think about that. All right, here we go. I'm backing up. Here we go. Yep, all right. See, somebody just says, okay, I like to declutter, but get stuck in getting it out of the house. It then sits in piles. Okay, Christy, what's the next step? What is jamming you up? And you don't have to answer in the comments. But what I want to suggest to you, what causes it to get stuck? When you're stuck getting it out of the house? I mean, is it that literally, like, the bag is so big it can't fit through the door? Or is it, I'll get to that later. What is the thought process? Now, I love a thought process because I freaking love a process. Because if a process doesn't get you where you want to go, you can change it so it does. Now, I will share with you, this is kind of how my brain, not necessarily has always been wired. I started out as a art history major in college back in the 80s. Okay, but through my decades of work, some of the things that I have leaned into and taught have helped me to develop this stuff. And the curiosity with where is this going wrong? Where does what I'm doing not get me the result I want? Okay, so discovering that I can't even talk. Discovering that about your own processes, discovering that point where it breaks and gets you where you don't want to go, you say, aha, this moment of awareness right now is a fork in the road. As soon as I realize this is why I do it, then a fork towards what you want. See that little heart there? People, I'm sharing, this is a heart. A fork in the road appears, and you have the choice right then to do something different to get you to where your destination decluttered is. Okay? Mar is saying, I need to go on a no buying challenge. The clutter is too much junk. Yeah. Decreasing, notice that kind of in the technical way I'm talking, decreasing the amount of stuff coming in makes it you have less stuff in the house, and then increasing the amount that goes out will decrease it. Challenge yourself to not buy stuff. Play with the toys you have. Eat the food that's in your pantry. The stuff that's going to go bad in 6 months, eat that stuff first. But if you find yourself not wanting to do it, get curious about it. There we go. Virtual Cat is saying, don't put it down, put it away. My new mantra helps with clutter. Yeah, don't put it down, put it away. I've heard other people say if it takes you less than 2 minutes to do the thing, just do the thing. Okay? Whatever you tell yourself, notice a mantra is words in your head that ideally make you feel a feeling. So when you say it, you feel a certain way, and then you do a different thing than you've been doing before. You think a better thought, you feel a better feeling, you do a better thing. And what's a better thing? A better thing is you taking action that is going to lead you to the life you want, and the benefit of that is usually when it's decluttered. Now, Cat Mama is saying, I put my stuff in the car trunk, and when the car trunk is full, then I head to the Goodwill. Okay? So notice that. Notice these things. Yeah, somebody else says, doesn't feel good till out of sight, out of the house and out of sight. Yes, get it into the car. Fill up the car. There we go. Okay, interesting. So, virtual cat, married to a woman, we still struggle with gender roles. Isn't it fascinating? Yeah. I'm married to a man, and even me, when it's just the two of us, we don't have kids, but there are certain roles that I tend to do things and he tends to do, and it's a really fascinating thing to just get curious about. Okay? I'm glad, yeah, somebody said I like the team approach. Yeah, you know what? It's like you're in an office and one person's doing all the work, and many other people are there with their shoes kicked up on the desk. Okay. There we go. Yay, yay, I'm seeing some good stuff. Okay, so German Maid has found a new home for die cuts, stickers, and baskets. Rock on. Hoot, hoot. We're on the groove train. Okay. Accentuate the positive. Congratulate yourself on the little things. Okay, and actually, you know what's funny? I normally don't have these in here, but I was putting some in some envelopes. See this? Little sticker. If you're on the mailing list, you know how to get one of these. They're free. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. Maybe it's backwards. Here, let me see if you can. No, you can't see it in the back way. Every little bit helps. Every little place you find your place for your die cuts. When you find a home for your things that makes sense to you, it makes it easier to find your things. Okay? It's easy. There we go. Yeah, I love it. Susan Porter says her attitude at work had been terrible and needed to finish the office makeover to feel better in there. Notice the connection between how your place looks and how you feel. And when you change how your place looks, it will change how you feel. There we go. Yep, Sweetheart is saying decluttering everything. It feels so freeing. Freeing, good, light, better, relief, all the good things. A place for everything and everything in its place. Okay, now that is a wonderful way to feel, but sometimes, like Athena is saying, I get overwhelmed. Yes, let me help you with that. Athena and everybody. Overwhelm is the number one thing that comes up on every single TikTok live that I do. And coaching too, and myself. Overwhelm. I hope the way that I explain this lands with you. If it doesn't, tell me so I can change it. But this is how I look at it. When I feel overwhelmed, overwhelm means we're looking at everything too big. You're looking at the entire map of the United States. When you say you want to go from point A to point B, but you're looking at the entire map. I have a map right here I'm looking at. I'm in Pennsylvania. I was recently in Palm Springs, California. For me to drive there, wow, that's a lot of states, okay? If you look at a project too big at the beginning, you're going to overwhelm yourself. What do? You chunk it down. You calm down. Actually, oh, hey, check it out. I just realized I'm using my new mug. And this is not, trust me, this is not one of those, infomercial time here. But see, I made myself a mug. It says every little bit helps. And I get my little thing here. But this is what I want you to think of, okay? When you're overwhelmed, I want you to slow down. Slow down. You move too fast. If you are rushing and you're not getting the result you want, slow the F down, people. Slow down, breathe down. Calm down your nervous system. Get into a slower gear. And then chunk things down. I got it down the bottom here. Write down the things and chunk it down. So, perfect example of this is if you're overwhelmed by your entire house, chunk it down to one room. What can you do in one room? Write that down. You know what to do. You do. What you're struggling with is that spark, that ignition of turning the key and, turning on your engine. Maybe you're revved up and then getting into gear. Why aren't you in gear? So just think about that. And when you think about it that way, you can mess around with your thoughts and see what feels better. And when it feels better, you do better. Okay? Like Chris J20 says, I tie monetary value to it and I think I could sell it. Okay, then sell it. I've done it before. I've sold stuff. Sometimes it's fun and easy. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt. So ask yourself, what level of money am I willing to, is it worth my time? Time is something you will never get back. I just want to plant that seed. And the amount of time it takes you to sell a $5 item is the same amount of time it's going to take you to sell a $500 item. So where do you want to spend your time? How much per hour is your life worth? What's your hourly rate life-wise? It should be very high. It should be. Don't sweat the small stuff. Do not worry about. I want you to be spending your time on the things that mean the most to you. Okay? So only you can decide what you want to sell and not, but notice if you're not selling it, what the thoughts are. Oop, I think my husband's home. Unless somebody just walked into our house to use the bathroom. All right. There we go. Yeah, Elizabeth Max is saying stuck equals overwhelmed in decisions for me. Help, yes, notice that. Everybody, anytime, it can only help to take some deep breaths. Now, if I take some deep breaths, now I'm going to sneeze because I get some boogers in my nose, frankly. But notice the overwhelmed feeling keeps you stuck. You have a feeling of overwhelm caused by thinking of all of the things, and then you get stuck. But there's an opposite to that. There's an opposite. You know, you can be on the other side. Ooh, I'm just feeling a crick in my head. Another thought. I'm not going to overwhelm myself. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to write down. I'm going to quiet down. I'm going to breathe down. I'm going to write down. I'm going to chunk it down. Elizabeth, anybody, everybody, please use this method to get you from overwhelmed to moving. When you feel better, you do better. Okay? When you feel better, you're doing better. Okay? And if you don't feel better, what's something you can do today to make yourself feel better? For me, yesterday, it was getting some rest and some drinking some water and not having a cocktail. Okay? Hey, Tammy from Greensboro. I'm just catching up on things here. Nice to see you. Tammy made a huge forward move of decluttering boxed up stuff. Unboxed items staged to go through this month. Awesome. Staging them, spreading out the stuff that you have to take a look at it to decide how you feel. That is a classic, perfect example of it's going to look temporarily worse before it looks permanently better when you're working with stored clutter. Now, those of you who haven't met me before, I always talk about surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental. So awesome job. There we go. Livy Love says, I'm trying to clean my house before I go on vacation. I don't know what to do. Sure you do. You know what to do. You know what to do. Look at your house. Pretend you're leaving for vacation and you're looking over your shoulder before you leave the door. What are some things that you know would bug you if you walked into your house, like if you left the house beforehand? Now, ironically, isn't it? And I do this myself. I like to tidy up so when I come home from vacation, I feel good about it. But pick some things that bug you about your house and then do something about it to change. Now, there are some projects that are bigger than others. Our basement floor needs some redoing. However, so that's not going to happen, but making sure that there are no dishes, dirty dishes in the sink. There's no laundry in the laundry thingy. The bed's made, stuff like that there. You can do those things. You know what it is. Write those things down. Write down the things you know that if they were taken care of, you would feel better before you go on vacation. Those are the things you do. Okay? Those are the things you do. Whoops. There we go. I'm scrolling here. Okay. Okay. Let me help with, so many people. I love helping you guys. This is good. Okay. Where were we? Tamara Arthur. I'm just really curious. Takes me a couple of hours to wash the dishes. How, and I say this with kindness and love and a little bit of just playfulness, how many frickin' dishes do you own? Now, I own a bunch of dishes myself. Dishes were one of the first things I kind of collected back in the day, Fiestaware, things like that. But really, does it really take you a couple hours? If it does, maybe you're looking at the entire process too big. Doing the dishes takes 2 hours. When it takes 2 hours, I feel overwhelmed and I don't want to start. How can you chunk down your process? What's a process? Could you even just start with, I'm going to empty the dishwasher, if you have a dishwasher. How long does that take? Do that chunk. Feel good about that. Walk away, do something else. Oh, now it's time for me to put just the silverware in. I'm going to just put all the silverware in. Awesome. I did that little chunk. Now I'm going to put in just the dishes, just the dinner plates. Now I'm going to put in just the Tervis tumblers. Breaking them things, listen to me. Breaking those things down into chunks. Don't get overwhelmed by the enormity. Maybe see what you can do in 15 minutes. Okay? Now, GP Goddess is saying, I'm not good at figuring out where things belong. I want you to start to pay attention to your brain and how your brain works. If you went to go look for something, where would a place be that made sense to you? I want you to design your house. When I talk about decluttering and when I coach my one-on-one clients, we talk about how do you want it to look, but how do you want to feel in your house, and how do you want it to function? And functionality has to do with you saying, I know that when I go to find, I want it to be easy. I'm all about making it easy, people. Where can I easily find that thing? How can I easily use it? How can I easily put it away? Now, scissors in our house is a perfect example. I know there's one decluttering coach that I followed his stuff a while back, and he was like, you should only have one toolkit. It should be one place. And I say, have fun with that. What I want to offer is, where do I need scissors? I need scissors in the kitchen when I'm cutting stuff up. I need scissors in the bathroom to cut a thread off of something I'm turning on. I need scissors in my office here to do office scissor stuff. I have scissors in 4 places in the house. It works for me. I know exactly where to go for scissors in that room, so I don't have to walk to get them. Scissors are cheap enough. Check out where the things make sense to you and get in the habit of putting those things there. When you do something and you make a new habit, what you're doing is you're creating a new neural pathway in your brain. You are making a new road. You are paving a new way in your brain to say, scissors used to be everywhere, now they belong here. I'm going to practice that by after I'm done with the scissors. And this is where that, and don't put it down, put it away thing. Put it away where it belongs. Then you've created kind of one pass through there. A little synapse is growing stronger. Okay? Repeat, repeat, repeat. And then you'll just know that those things are there. Okay? Seller 268 is doing the classic, and I say this, again, with love and understanding. Overwhelm and anger at myself for letting it get this way. So here's something I want you to think of. Anger is an energy, as John Lydon said. However, anger is only an energy when you put action behind it. What I would rather you do is, instead of being angry at yourself, everybody, forgive yourself. Forgive your trespasses. I've been saying that all day. I don't know why. But forgive yourself, your past self, for everything you did that you feel bad about. Shame, it's shame and anger and feeling bad and beating yourself up. All that does is sap your energy, and it's like staying in your car and the engine's on and you're revving the engine but you're not in gear, and all you're doing is emptying yourself of that precious energy you have. So here's a mantra I want to offer to you is, I did the best I could with what I had. So Seller 268, I bet you have a story as to why you have some sneaky feelings as to how things got this way. Just forgive yourself. Have some compassion for yourself and say, you know what? I was doing the best I could at the time. I was doing the best I could with the situation. I was doing the best I could with the life skills that I had, and I didn't have the life skill of decluttering. So I did the best I could with what I picked up from my family and what I saw on TV and what I knew myself. But there's certain things I didn't know how to do, so I didn't do them. Okay? Let go. Instead of hanging on to the anger like what's that guy? Tony Brady. Can't remember, but throw it like a coal. Tom Evans, maybe? Throw it like a hot coal off of a cliff and feel better. Release the anger, let it go, forgive yourself, and then say, okay, that was then, this is now. What can I do today to even incrementally, a little tiny chunk down, all right? Chunk it down. A little chunk today to do something different and better than I did before. Okay? But please, everybody, life is short. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. There we go. Sumo is cleaning out the storage room, slowly cleaning out. Yeah, a pace, work at a pace that feels right to you. Okay? There we go. Barb J is saying, cleaning my kitchen while I listen. It's so much easier when I feel like I'm not alone. Yeah, that is what they call in the biz of ADHD, is they call it body doubling. There's also the buddy system. And it isn't, you know what? You're not the only person who's struggling with clutter. And I say this to make you feel not alone, because when you feel like it's something weird, there's something wrong with me, what's wrong with me? I can't do this. There's nothing wrong with you. No, you just haven't learned a skill, and the skill of calming down your nervous system and getting into action. And it's just a process that you just haven't learned. How would you feel if you were so angry at yourself for not knowing how to drive a car, but you never got any lessons? It's silly. Sometimes you need to be taught how to do things the right way. You could pretend to learn how to drive a car by reading a book, by watching other people, by saying, well, I've driven in one enough, I should know. I've lived in a house long enough, I should know how to keep it clean. Yeah. Sometimes we need to be taught some lessons. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, learn a skill, learn a life skill, learn the skills of driving, learn the skills of decluttering. Once you learn them, much like driving, you'll have them for the rest of your life. That's the reason I freaking love coaching. It's not like, okay, there you go, 10 sessions with me, thank you, whatever. No, I share with you skills. I share with you a simple, easy toolkit. It's got a handful of tools in it that we use over and over again. I don't overwhelm you with all sorts of stuff that you don't need, because really it comes down to a handful of really good things. It's like a screwdriver and some scissors and maybe a hammer. It's the things that you use all the time, because when you learn the life skill of decluttering, you can apply this process everywhere in your life. Okay? Now, Daisy Dog is saying, I go through my apartment and I try to accomplish one thing in each room every day. Every little bit helps. I love it. I love it. I love it. SC Native, I think it got split up, and I'm way behind on the messages. I apologize. Real quick, somebody mentioned the Zoom call. So if you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com, we have a monthly free Zoom call, group Zoom call. It's a little taste of what one-on-one coaching would be like, because we get to really get strategic about your stuff. Or maybe you just hang back and listen and declutter while you're doing it. Getting on the mailing list, and I just want to make sure everything's running here. Okay, is getting on the mailing list. Okay, yep, I see some of you signing up. Awesome. The Destination Decluttered, it's going to be next week already, because we're already in the first week of March. January's gone. February's gone. Even with that bonus 29th. Time is passing, and time, you don't get it back. The sooner you start to declutter, you guys, the sooner you get there. The sooner you get decluttered. And the way I teach you this skill, helps you to change your habits so it doesn't pile up like it had done before. That's why I offer my coaching. I always want to remember during these TikTok lives, not as like a salesy thing, but as a thing for you to say, you know what? It's just like a road trip. The sooner you start, the sooner you get there. And I offer a 10 session package. So let's say, like mid-March to April to May to June. Yeah, by mid-June, you could be so much less cluttered, just in time for summer. So get on the mailing list. I can become your coach, destinationdecluttered.com. And even if we haven't met before and you're liking what you hear, just follow my TikTok page. I make videos, I do TikTok lives, and I'm here for you to help you through these things. Even notice I've been on for 40 minutes now. People are getting stuff done while I'm doing this. You're not alone. There's hundreds of people here, I just show up in the energy of you can do it, because I know you can, because I cannot teach rocket science, but boy, can I teach you the life skill of decluttering so you can practice it and get as far as you can by yourself. And if what you're doing by yourself is getting you where you want to, awesome. But if you need a coach, I'm your coach. Okay? What else do we have here? Hey, there we go. South Carolina. Okay, now I got it. So, SC Native said, during the last Zoom call, I took the time to clean up some items I'd be putting off. I was able to then list them online. They sold the next week or so. Win-win. Decluttering makes you money. Decluttering saves you money. Decluttering, I cannot even tell you how many times my clients and people I don't even know are like, I made money. I found money. I found a gift card. I found $30 in change. My roommate bought me a vacation to Disney. All sorts of good things. Okay? All sorts of good things. Loopy 2PM2 says, are you going live again this week? I'm signed up for the newsletter, but didn't see a schedule. Thanks. I did send one out last week. So if you didn't get it, do me a favor. Sometimes people's email addresses get kind of stuck in like the colander, the spam filter, and you don't mean to. If you are following me here on TikTok, send me a DM and let me know what email address you signed up for, and I can see what's going on with that. Anybody here too, if you are on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list and you did not receive an email last week, I'm just quickly signing on here. And let me see what day it was that I sent it out. Here we go. March 1st. March 1st. So if you did not get one at March 1st, first of all, look at your spam filters and all that. It would come from Beth@destinationdecluttered.com. Okay? And so yeah, Daisy Dogs, you're saying the same thing. Seriously, just send me a DM here on TikTok. And let me know what email address you signed up for. I can take a look behind the scenes and see what's going on. And I love to do that. I have not blacklisted anybody, but sometimes there are different trappings that, somebody mistyped something or whatever. But the neat thing is the people that do my email listserv thing are really cool about helping with that kind of stuff. Okay, awesome. All right, what do we have here? There we go. Teresa Griffin says that this message was so needed for me today. Thank you. Yeah. You're welcome. Sorry, I was reading something when I said that. So yeah, you know what? The message comes when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So maybe you're ready to do something different. Maybe you've tried all the other things alone, and perhaps you just need a one-on-one coach for 10 sessions, 20 sessions, 30. I have clients who are happily starting their fourth kind of 10-session package, because they love what they're doing, the progress they're making, the encouragement, the problem solving, the two heads are better than one, learning about themselves, and even just having somebody there so you're not alone when you're going through things. I will say, it's kind of crazy because while I am a decluttering life coach, I am there with people as they are struggling with the death of a spouse. They found the love of their life. They have, who else am I thinking of? They're leaving a spouse that they had, somebody who is dealing with moving houses, all those things, having somebody with you in those transition periods, or even if your transition period is just like I personally am sick of being stuck this way. And I need a push. I need to call AAA. I need to call the American Automobile Association and get a tow truck and get me out of this rut so I can start moving. And then I need to learn some different. Okay? There we go. Now somebody says, Mara's asking, do I have a podcast yet? My answer officially is no. I'm going to do it at some point. But I really enjoy what I'm doing now. And here's what I want to offer to you. Honestly, all you need to do is listen to my TikTok lives without looking at the screen. Boom. You're just listening. Podcast. Boom. The other way too to do that is on Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I have all of my TikTok lives that I've done there's well over 125 of them at this point. There are recordings of my TikTok lives. So there is a wealth of those things that you can listen to, when you're in the car, pop it in your earbuds, whatever helps you to get somebody, and just notice the difference. Notice the difference, how different it feels, and how much better you do when you've got a voice of encouragement in your head instead of your backseat drivers, instead of those ones saying you can't do it. Okay? And Tamara is saying, I do better alone because I will talk too much to the other person. Yes, sometimes it's really great to do that kind of, together but separate type thing. All right. So what do we have now? All right. This is so funny. I don't know what it is. But we all do it. Paperwork is such a thing. Perhaps I'll do a paperwork specific one, but get curious about what is this paperwork and why am I saving it. Just ask yourself that question, and please, when you ask yourself these questions, listen for your answers. What is the answer that comes up? Why am I saving this? It could be a legit reason. I am saving this receipt because in case I get audited, I need to have proof that this was a business expense. Noted. I am saving this receipt because I might return these pants. Okay. I am saving this, mortgage because whatever. Certain things. Okay, listen for your answer. How about this? I don't know why I'm saving this. Maybe it's just a habit. Because we all come from a certain generation prior to being digital where everything was paper. Now we're in kind of a hybrid situation. So check yourself right now. Your 2024 habits, do they align with how you want to live your life here in 2024? Are you doing things the more difficult way, the pre-digital era, excuse me. And the neat thing is you can change this stuff up at any time. You can decide today, you know what? Today's the day. I'm just going to put all of those old printed out bank statements in a bag, and I'm going to wait until there's a shredding event. Okay? So notice these things that work for you. Now, this is especially appropriate for folks with ADHD to find a system and a process that works for your unique brain. But I'm not going to just talk to you. I will also include, kind of in the flip, the neurotypical people. Everything that I offer works for both brains. I want you to find out what works for you. I want you to discover what works for you and continue to do that. I also want you to discover what doesn't work for you so you can muck around and change that. Okay? Yeah. I love it. I love it. Yep, I did the best I could at the time. Okay, so Rossman, let me help you with this. Rossman is saying, every time I declutter, I find myself having more of a mess after I declutter. Okay, that is part of the process. Let me help you with that, okay? I can help you with that. So what I want to offer is when you are going through stored clutter, everybody, you know what stored clutter is. It's the stuff that you've kind of tidied up and it's like, oh, I'll get through that someday. In order to sort it, you need to spread it out. You need to see what you have, and you need to, at least the way I teach it, you make piles of like items together. Here's all this, here's all that, whatever. Make sure when you're doing this, you leave yourself some time to tidy up afterwards. That spreading out, it's going to look temporarily worse before it looks permanently better. Okay? So yeah, if you just leave it there, it does look worse. So factor in some time so you tidy it up again, but you tidy it up differently because now you have different, more specific piles. Okay? Get curious about this. Notice your habits, you guys. If you don't notice it and if you don't care to look inward, it ain't gonna work. You might as well just pay somebody to come and clean up for you. But you will clutter again because you have habits. Habits of thinking and feeling and doing. Habits up here, habits in here, habits right here. Okay? Alrighty. Yeah, you need to, in order to just get curious about your paperwork. I have bags of my mother's paperwork, my parents' paperwork in our basement waiting for a decluttering event. Or excuse me, not a decluttering event, like a shredding event. Because they were totally paper-bound people. They were already, in their 50s maybe? 40s? When the internet and the stuff came. And so they were used to, in the habit of keeping the papers in case somebody said, did you really make that deposit? I don't think you really paid that bill. And you would have evidence. You'd have that paper check and you'd have the statement. Said, see, I told you I did it. That proof exists elsewhere now. Okay? That proof, and I don't say that to force you to change. I don't force you to do anything. Force does not work. What I just want to do is I want you to open your eyes and your mind to look at things differently and say, yeah, you know what? Do I really need to do that this way anymore? Or is there an easier way to do it? A simpler way, a less stressful way, a way that takes less time and less effort? I am all about that. I will never overcomplicate something that can be done simply. I get overwhelmed and irritated when things have too many steps. So I am always endeavoring to make my coaching the simplest, most easy thing for you to use, so it's a no-brainer. So you can get started easily and you're feeling good about the progress you have. Okay? Thank your user 224110, yep, saying thank you so much for helping us out. It has been helping me a bunch. Awesome. I am happy to do so because I know what it's like to be cluttered. I know what it's like to not have some skills of thinking and feeling and acting, that when I got some help from it, when I paid for coaching. Now, I did a lot of stuff. I will say I did a lot of stuff on the free. I did, but I'm telling you, it's like a scary shortcut. When you pay for help, you get it tailored just to you. That's when I found that I was whizzing by. When I could have done it myself, it just took longer. And I wanted to get to a place that I loved my home and my life a lot sooner. So sometimes that takes money. Now, if paying for coaching is something that freaks you out, think about that. You can do a lot on your own, but boy, does it help to have help. Okay? Yeah, okay, so yeah. I'm also, Inessa, I will tell you, I'm waiting for a shredding event too. I was thinking about that on my morning walk. I have to do that. Okay, so little T is saying, yes, my paperwork has saved me so many times, so it's hard to change. Okay, be glad that it changed. So maybe if it does save you, get curious about that and when the last time that was. What was the thing you needed to save? Do you need to save all of your paperwork? What's some of the paperwork you could easily let go of that's not saving you from anything? Okay. Now this I love. So Chrissy C is saying, or GP God is saying, I don't always realize how bad it's gotten until I see it in a picture. Yes. Take a picture. You don't even have to take a picture. Just put your phone up, and that distance you get from looking at it through a different perspective can highlight some things you've never seen. Professional photographers do this all the time. They will take a tester photo and then they say, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, now I notice there's a shadow there that my brain, when it's trying to look at everything, it doesn't see these details. You know, I love it. Athena Briggs is saying a file cabinet helped you a lot. I actually endeavor to not have a file cabinet, but you do you. I will never discourage you from doing something that's working for you. Just say, do it my way. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have a way of doing something that's getting you the results you want, I teach you that. That's what I'm doing right here. So find something that works for you and do it. But question what you're doing and just listen for the answer. And does your answer feel good to you, or could it use some tweaking? Okay? Pay attention to you and do the stuff that makes you feel good. Okay? The stuff that doesn't make you feel good, get curious about that. Why are you doing the things that are getting you the result you don't want? I'm going to guess it has to do with a thought in your head that makes you feel a feeling, and when you feel a feeling, you do a thing. Okay. Little Tia says, especially when computers and technology come and go, become outdated and lost stuff. Okay, yes, sometimes it's important to print out some things, but you can also save things to the cloud. Again, you need to find something that works for you. But if it works for you, then it's not clutter. The stuff that you love, the stuff that you want to keep, the stuff that helps you live a life of ease of mind, peace of mind, that's not clutter. If keeping that makes you feel good and makes it so your home looks and feels and functions like you want to, rock on with your bad self. There's nothing wrong at all. The stuff that's not, I want you to get curious about, is the stuff that doesn't make you feel good. What's the stuff you look at and go, ugh, as opposed to yay? Yee, school, look at that. Yay, love it, love it, love it. What's the stuff you look at in your house? What's the area of your home when you look at it and you go, ugh? That, my dear, that is clutter. And maybe the stuff itself isn't clutter. Maybe it's just the way you have it organized and stored. Again, you can learn different ways of storing things. I have worked in this kind of, my brain has been picking up these things for decades. I was a, me, but it's like I've been a visual visual merchandiser. I have managed stores where all we did was Reset and Home Goods and Pier 1 and Mikasa and all that kind of stuff, Filene's, making stuff look good, circulating your inventory, keeping the right amount of things, marking down the things that aren't worth it anymore, donating items. I've been a process engineer. I have run teams. All these things have allowed me to create a system that is so simple and easy peasy that I just show up to do these TikTok lives to share it with you. You know? Okay, so Rossman says 3 of my 5 rooms make me ugh. Okay, get specific about it. If you were to take a tour of the room, one of the rooms, you hold up your camera and say, okay, see what bugs me about it? That bed is unmade. My clothing is on top of my bureau. I need to vacuum in here. That mirror needs Windexing. Notice what I did. I just created some tasks that if I did those things, the place would look and feel better. Okay. Annalisa looked for some info about recommendations on how long to keep old bills and receipts. Yeah, finding out from the professionals. Find out what makes you feel good. Please, here's the really deep, cool thing. Now, I started deep and I want to end deep too because I only have 5 minutes and then I jump back into a day of coaching and consultations. Again, if you want me to be your coach, here I am, destinationdeclutter.com. However, I want you to think about this. If you have something that you know up here that you want to do, look at me, I'm tapping. I know I need to do it, but you're not doing it with your hand. It's up here in your head, but your hand isn't moving to do the thing. You've got a roadblock, my dear. You have a roadblock in your heart. Now, I say heart, but this is what I call like the feeling part of you. This is your heart. This is your nervous system. This is your soul. This is the part that goes like either yay or ugh. Ugh, I don't want, no, I want to keep that. If you have a disconnect, if the list is here, but the list is not getting done, coaching can help you. Pay attention to how your thoughts make you feel and practice mixing it up, shaking it off, and doing the opposite. Playing around with the thought that keeps you stuck, the opposite is going to get you going. It kind of ends up being like a math problem and like you're in English class or learning a new language, a language of possibility, of movement, of trust, of curiosity, of getting started, of fun. Oh my God, it's fun to go and see what you've saved. It's fun to let go of the stuff that doesn't bug you, that bugs you. It's fun to reclaim the power in your life and take it away from the stuff that makes you feel bad. Okay? Okay. Gabrielle is saying, my whole house is good, organized, and clean, except my bedroom where everything goes to die. Talk about dramatic words. Why is that, Gabrielle? Gabrielle, I will ask you that. Why? Why? I have a sneaking suspicion with many things. It's that we are told to focus on the outside and leave ourselves for last. Your bedroom could be the most personal room of yourself to you, and by the time you're done with all the external, you're exhausted, and you say, that's okay, I don't need it to be that way. I want to offer to you, that could be something to do with it. The other thing could be, too, is that maybe you just have too many clothes for the amount of storage you have. You know, you are worth it. Everybody, you are worth living in a home that looks good to you. You are worth feeling good in your home that looks good to you. And you are worth living in a home that looks good and makes you feel good and also functions well so you easily can do the things you want to do in your life. And part of that ease, I just want to plant the seed with you, is not spending all your effing time decluttering your house. When you declutter and you learn the life skill of not getting cluttered again, and you do a little bit at a time and all the things that coaching teaches you, you'll have so much time to do the things you want to do. That's what life is all about, Charlie Brown. Okay? Yeah, Susan Porter and Tamara are saying that. My bedroom is the same. No one else sees it, so I stash everything there. But you know who sees it? You see it. You see it, and you matter. You deserve to live. You deserve to go to bed at night feeling, and waking up in the morning and going, look at this. I love when you wake up in the morning and you see crap all around the place, ugh. You're not even out of bed and you want to put the covers on your head. You can do something different. Okay, Gabrielle? All right, Tamara? All right, Susan? All right? Now, I have to run. I have coaching and consultations, but it has been lovely to meet with you and hang out. I hope this helped. If it did, come back again. I'm doing a TikTok live tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. I do one maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks. Folks said they wanted them, and I like to do what I can, okay? All right, my bedroom is cluttered. Maybe we'll do a bedroom. How about this? All right, so everybody's saying bedroom. Everybody who's doing this is saying bedroom. I'm TikTok live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. is going to be all about the bedroom clutter. How's that sound? Show up for that. All we'll talk about is bedroom clutter. Sound good? I'm writing it down. Bedroom clutter. And paperwork. How's that? Half an hour of paperwork, half an hour of bedroom clutter. If you know somebody who falls under those categories, tell them to show up, all right? Time zone. I'm always East Coast, so when I said 7 p.m., it's always East Coast. Okay? So look at me helping you. Help yourself. Show up tomorrow. Bedroom clutter and paper. Bring your questions, but even before that, get curious. Can you tell I'm getting ready to hop on to a consultation? Get curious about why the stuff is the way it is yourself, and know that you can change it, okay? I gotta run. I'll see you later. Bye.